From our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Joe Palmer begins now.
A Supreme Court jury has been told shocking details of how a fatal hit-and-run unfolded in Prospect Vale last year, which claimed the life of 30-year-old Dale James Watson. This afternoon, the jury was taken to the scene of the alleged murder as part of the week-long trial.
Residents in Prospect Vale today recounted the terrifying moment Dale James Watson was allegedly mowed down in their street last March. Neighbours Michael Mansell and Mervyn Payne were the first on scene after they heard a loud thump outside their house. Telling the courtroom, "I heard an almighty crash bang." The men tried to assist Mr Watson, who was laying on the side of the road, but he was declared dead at the scene. After we realised we could do no more, we put a tarp over the body. Mr Watson had been walking along the footpath to buy cigarettes at Woolworths when he was allegedly struck by a black Ford Ranger driven by Joshua Joseph Barker. Mr Barker has pleaded not guilty to the murder, with his defence lawyer arguing he was mentally ill at the time, suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder from an earlier assault. Other neighbours who were also home recounted the moment they saw the vehicle driving along the street. A very large, powerful car. I heard a car speeding. I heard a really loud bang. The jury was also told about how Mr Barker had woken up at 5 a.m, visited Pet Barn, a takeaway place in Invermay, and a convenience store in the city twice before driving to Burrows Street, where the hit and run took place. This afternoon, the jury was taken to the police holding yard where the vehicle at the centre of the crime was shown to them. The group was then taken to the scene of the hit and run on the corner of Knox and Burrows Street as part of the evidence. The trial continues tomorrow. Letitia Wallace, 7 Tasmanian News.
A string of fires has caused various levels of damage to properties across the state over the past 2 days. A minor blaze threatened Hobart's CSIRO this morning, forcing staff and researchers to evacuate the premises.
One of the state's main research centres at a standstill. A billow of smoke, the cause for concern. Fire crews arrived at the scene at around 8 this morning to find a small blaze coming from a lithium battery in a tool bag.
After finding the top floor was fully smoke logged, we entered the plant room and the fire was in a bag of portable tools like battery operated tools, drills and stuff. So that seems to be the cause of the fire.
Their efforts prevented the fire from spreading.
Just be a little bit of smoke damage, but there's no structural damage to anything. So it was quite lucky really.
The incident, just one of several occurring across the state over the past 48 hours. Yesterday, a fire tore through a Lauderdale property, leaving nothing but charred rubble behind, causing around $300,000 worth of damage. A 33-year-old woman has since been charged with arson and faced the Hobart Magistrates Court this morning. Last night, a house on Strickland Avenue here in South Hobart sustained $20,000 worth of damage. It was caused by lit candles left unattended too close to combustible items, prompting a warning from the TFS.
Candles are a perennial problem, particularly if candles are left unattended, and they can certainly be a contributor to house fires, absolutely.
A busy few days for our local fireys. Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
Property prices across Tasmania are continuing to grow despite a sales slump in every other capital city across Australia. Hobart's housing boom has seen prices increase by 2% in the past year alone, but it's adding extra pressure to our already stretched property market.
For sale signs scattered across Hobart as the housing crunch continues. New ABS data revealing property prices in the region jumped 2% in the past year.
We expected at some stage, and everybody was expecting, that the market would drop, but it hasn't. And that's because of the shortage of supply that we've got.
Bucking the national trend, the only capital city to see prices rise over the year.
People who make their biggest investments in life, usually it is their own home, and they will be, I think, feeling quite pleased that their investments are seeing, I think, some returns that have been long awaited.
Experts say properties in the north and northwest are experiencing similar trends, but those trying to enter the market continue to struggle, many exploring options outside the cities.
There's so much competition with buying as well, so if you can get your hand on land and build it yourself, you don't really have to deal with that.
As Hobart remains in short supply, the peak body says there's a long way to go before everyone can celebrate the boom.
It's a long drawn-out process. There's no quick fix, and that's a real issue, a real problem that I wouldn't like to be on the end of trying to solve.
Michelle Wisby, 7 Tasmania News.
The family of a 3-year-old Tasmanian girl battling a deadly cancer has reached its initial fundraising goal as it saves up for potentially life-saving treatment in America. Eleanor Oakley and her family have been forced to move to Melbourne as she undergoes rigorous treatment for stage 4 neuroblastoma. The family hopes to be part of a costly clinical treatment trial in the United States, today reaching its $300,000 fundraising target. But the full treatment could cost millions, the family leaving the Eleanor's Fight GoFundMe page open to extra donations. The redevelopment of Macquarie Point has taken a step forward, overcoming a planning hurdle. The site is now almost ready to start consulting with developers, but many say the project has taken years too long.
Yet another announcement on this site that's still a blank canvas as part of the long-running redevelopment that is Macquarie Point, revealing the Planning Commission has made the changes needed to roll out its master plan.
Finally, this site can take its place as one of the most exciting urban renewal projects in the country, and permanent development can now occur.
But there's still a long way to go before any construction starts, with significant remediation work still to be completed.
Works will commence immediately to ensure that we can open up parcels of land for permanent development in the new year.
It remains unclear what exactly the finished site will look like, but a business plan will be started soon for a new Antarctic and Science precinct.
There's a lot of work that's been done here. I know that a lot of people in the community would like things to have been done sooner, but our people have been working really hard.
After 6 years, all they've got to show for it is a car park and a veggie patch. Tasmanians expect more. It's a strategic site for the state and they need to get on with the job.
The government is now working to attract the site's first major tenants. Michelle Wisby, 7 Tasmania News.
A woman has been taken to hospital after being hit by a car on the corner of Cemetery and George Streets in Launceston at around 11:30 this morning. Tasmania Police say the woman was shaken but not injured. Social services are calling for a crackdown in the payday loan sector, saying vulnerable Tasmanians are being caught in a financial trap. Some schemes can lead to people on low incomes paying double or more than the value of the original purchase.
For someone like Cody, a short-term payday loan arrangement seemed an easy solution to purchase a new television for her family.
I found that although they're convenient to get the items that you're after, by the time you finish paying out the contract, you're paying 2 to 3 times the amount of what the original product was worth.
While she knew the cost of the fortnightly repayments, she didn't realise the cost over the full term.
Being twice as much, and for someone, like I said, on our kind of income on Centrelink, it's a lot of money, and we can't really afford to just be throwing that kind of money away.
Nils is an alternative, the government-backed service offering no-interest loans for low-income Tasmanians. Staff say stories like Cody's are common.
It's just stunning what the costs and effective charges add up to, and people are willing to pay that because they're desperate for an item.
Social services are calling on the federal government to take action on payday lending after a review into the sector almost 3 years ago.
Recommendations to the federal government have said that this is not an appropriate loan scheme, and we now want to see the federal government take action on their own review recommendations.
Organisations across Australia want the federal government to act and just slightly rein in and cap what payday lenders and consumer leases can charge.
Hoping that these changes will make life easier for those just trying to get by. Ebony Ablett, 7 Tasmania News.
colourful handprints covered the walls of a high school outside of Hobart today as students rallied together in a fight against bullying and discrimination. Groups presented research and advocacy projects to their peers, with one setting out to tackle racism.
It happens quite a lot in a lot of different schools, and I feel like if we educate people about it, they'll realise that it happens a lot, and then maybe they'll stop it.
The initiative, part of the Let's Get Together program at Kingston High School.
Still on football, and Kingborough could land its first flag in a statewide competition this weekend. The Tigers are taking on North Launceston in the Development League decider and have high hopes of breaking through. 2019 is the year the Tigers are coming of age. The senior side made the State League finals for the first time, while the Development League side is now within reach of a maiden premiership.
Yeah, but to be the sort of first team in the TSL comp to get our first premiership would just be super special, and the group of boys that I'm playing with at the moment as well, it'd be massive for me. It meant a lot to me personally.
North Launceston stands in their way, and the club has its own history to overcome, having lost in last year's grand final.
A lot of hard work goes into playing football throughout the year, and just that one day, you just need to get that one win, and it'll mean a lot.
We're expecting them to come out and do what they did 2 weeks ago, and that's throw everything at us.
And Jordan Silk has been named captain of the Tasmanian Tigers ahead of the domestic one-day season.
Really proud moment to lead this state.
The squad includes 4 uncapped players.
I think there's a really good mix of young and old in this squad, and that's what really excites me.
And although Silk didn't see previous Tigers captain Matthew Wade's Ashes ton, he says he wasn't surprised when he heard about it.
I'm just really pleased for him that he was able to really put a statement, I guess, on the end of that series, and I definitely sort of lock himself in for tests going forward into the summer.
Good evening. A bit of a cold snap overnight with Lyowini registering -7, Ross -6, while our top today was 16 at Friendly Beaches. Hobart 15, Launceston and Burnie 13 and Devonport 12. Temperatures did recover but still sat below average. St Helens and Grove 14, Strawn, Ouse, Smithton and King Island 13, Flinders Island and Low Head 12 degrees. Low-level clouds streamed across western areas of the state but didn't produce much rainfall today. More low cloud was seen lingering over coastal Victoria but was quickly asked to move on. Some patchy cloud is over southern WA. A frontal band over the Tasman Sea has an offshoot that produced thunderstorms over eastern New South Wales. Tomorrow, the high over the Tasman Sea extends a ridge over southeastern Australia. Troughs are over Queensland and WA ahead of another front. Northwesterly winds 10 to 20 knots, reaching 30 knots over the south early before shifting north-northeasterly and reaching 30 knots later over the east coast. Strong wind warning for the lower east from Wineglass Bay to Low Rocky Point. We have a frost warning for many parts of the state as well, mainly over the north and the central east. Forecast for tomorrow, sunny for Hobart 17, 17 for Geeveston, Bothwell, morning frost, a sunny day, 16 the top. Launceston, early frost, mostly sunny later, 16 the high, 13 for Devonport and 15 for Cressy after a negative start. 13 the high for Burnie, a mostly fine sunny day, partly cloudy for Strawn and 15, 14 the top for Curry. And for St Helens, 15 the high, 17 for Swansea, a sunny day, sunny for Orford and 16. Thursday, fine and mostly sunny apart from the chance of a light shower over the northeast. Fine weather into Friday before a shower develops over the west during the evening. And on Saturday, a 95% chance of rain, maybe a wet deck at Blunston for the grand final, but I still think the Bombers will win. Showers over Perth, sunny for Adelaide and Melbourne tomorrow, showers and 17 in Sydney, warming up to 28 degrees in Brisbane and a sunny 34 in Darwin. Partly cloudy at the moment, 11 degrees in Hobart, Launceston 8 and currently it's 9 in Devonport. Poor misunderstood Toby Green is facing the tribunal tonight. Joe, they say he's being unfairly treated due to his past indiscretions and his reputation. I know how he feels.
Oh, poor you. All right, thank you very much, Merv. That's all from the news team for now. Thanks so much for your company. We will, of course, see you with updates throughout the evening. Bye for now.